This is the book called The Famous Five. It's in the Activist series by Terry Barber. 5 women meet for tea. Emily Murphy invites 4 women to her home. Emily wants these women to help her. Emily wants to change the laws of the land. These women will become known as the Famous Five. The Famous Five live in Alberta, Canada. The early 1900s. It is the early 1900s. Women do not have basic rights. They cannot vote. They cannot own property. They cannot serve in the Senate. The law does not give women the same rights as men. Many men think their wives should stay at home. Women should raise the children. Women should do as they are told, by men, of course. Women need to know their place, and their place is in the home. A woman reads to her child in 1900. And in the picture on page 10, these women clean and press clothes in 1909. Home. Men get the good jobs. Women get the dead end jobs. Sometimes men and women work at the same job, but women get paid less than men. The picture on page 12 is a woman making butter in the farmhouse. And on page 13, this woman cuts oats in the fields, 1909. Many families live on farms. The farm wives work very hard. They work in the house, they work in the fields. Farm wives work as hard as their husbands. But the law says women cannot own the farm. In 1914, many men go to war. Many women are left at home. Women must fill the men's jobs. Women show that they are strong. Women show that they are smart. But they still do not have the same rights as men. World War I lasts from 1914 to 1918. Over 600,000 Canadian men fight in the war. The picture on page 15 shows a woman works in a factory in 1917. The picture on page 16 shows the Famous Five. Henrietta Moore Edwards, Louise McKinney, Irene Parlby, Emily Murphy, and Nellie Mcclung. 5 women decide to make life better for women and children. They believe women should have the same rights as men. Emily Murphy, 1919. Emily Murphy is Canada's first female judge. She fights for laws that protect women and children. She is also a writer. Emily writes about the drug trade. Her writings result in new laws about drugs. Nellie Mcclung. Nellie Mcclung is a famous writer. She gives speeches about women's rights. She knows how to put words into action. She fights for the rights of women in Canada. Nellie Mcclung and her son in 1910. Louise McKinney, 1917. Louise McKinney is a Christian. She helps form the United Church of Canada. She believes people should not drink. She fights for stronger liquor laws. In 1917, Louise McKinney is the first woman elected to Canada's government. Henrietta Moore Edwards. Henrietta Moore Edwards starts a magazine. It is Canada's first magazine for women. It is called Working Women of Canada. Henrietta knows about laws that affect women. She knows how to change these laws. Irene Parlby, 1928. Irene Parlby supports farm women. She is president of the United Farm Women of Alberta. She believes in better education for women. She believes in better health care for women. She believes women should get better pay. Irene Parlby is the first female cabinet minister in Alberta. On page 28, this woman does not have property rights. Property rights. Women do not have property rights. If a husband divorces his wife, he gets the property. If a husband dies, the woman does not get the property. This is the law. The property rights law does not protect women. The famous five work to change this law. The Dower Act is passed in 1911. This law gives a woman the right to 1/3 of her husband's property. Voting rights. In 1915, women cannot vote. The famous five are leaders in the voting rights movement. They give speeches. They plan a sit-in. They force the government to change the law. By 1916, women can vote in 3 provinces. Quebec is the last province to give women the right to vote. Quebec women cannot vote until 1940. In 1918, women also win the right to vote in federal elections. The person's case. Emily Murphy wants to become Canada's first female senator. In the eyes of the law, a woman is not a person. This means that women cannot serve in the Senate. Murphy wants to change the federal law. She asks her friends to help her. In 1917, the famous five work together to change the law. It takes a long time. In 1929, the law is changed. The new law says that women are persons. Now women can serve in Canada's Senate. There is a sad note to this story. Emily Murphy does not become a senator. She dies in 1933. Pushing for change. The famous five fought for women's rights. They helped to change laws. Women win the right to vote. Women gain property rights. And women can serve in the Senate. Emily Murphy liked to say, "Nothing happens by chance. Everything is pushed from behind." Emily knew how to push. The famous five knew how to push. They pushed Canada to change its laws. On page 46 is the glossary. The first word is cabinet minister. A cabinet minister is an elected member of the government. A cabinet minister usually manages a government department. Dead end job. This is a job that does not promote a person's skills. Dower Act. A law that allows a woman legal rights to her husband's property. Senator. In Canada, these people are appointed by the Governor General. They make decisions about legislation.